Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's good to be back. We hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, man. We miss y'all. Tune in for today. Let's go. All right, guys. So, you guys know how we started the episode. We got a new guest today. Toby couldn't be here. He's at Disney.
Shout out Toby, though.
Toby, we miss you, though. Hope you're having a safe trip. Hey, but let's get into it, guys. So, this new guest today is Adonis. This friend that I've met for years now, man. Father of two. I'm gonna let him share his story. Just give you guys a little brief information on him. But we like to start every episode with check-ins. He knows he tunes into the show. But how you doing, George? We'll start with you, bro.
I would say I'm at an 8, bro. I think only an 8 because I think myself, I've been feeling kind of sluggish, kind of out of it, kind of like you said earlier right now yourself. I mean, not that I'm not on my A game, but I just feel like I can be better. You know? So
sure.
I guess that's why I'm at an 8. But mentally though, I would give myself a 9 because I'm looking at my situations, what I'm handling, what I'm dealing with in a positive, I guess, light. And going based off of that, man. I think the only thing that I had a struggle with, or not struggle, but an issue with was with my daughter actually stealing. She was stealing some chips, actually. My bad. I was mentioning it earlier. It was upsetting because it happened last week. I talked to her over the weekend. And, I mean, of course, kids will be kids, right? So this week she did it again. And it just made me upset because it made me feel like, man, like, I guess I didn't get through to her or whatever the case may be. She just decided to do it again. So she did it again. Consequence was she was not going to play soccer. She played soccer on Saturday. So this Saturday today, actually, she didn't get to play. And it is what it is, man. Hopefully that teaches her a lesson. And moving forward, we can, help her understand the reason why we don't want her to steal. And, just listen to us about those things.
For sure. And not poker chips, potato chips.
Potato chips, yeah.
Potato chips, man.
Girl was like, she should have gotten like an iPhone or something.
I'm like, that, bro. Should have stole something, make it worth it.
Regardless, man, she's not gonna steal anything, bro. Like, I know, like, it's one of the things that that's very easy to do for kids, especially at a store or even if it's just your friend, right? But you got to try to instill, that value of, why you shouldn't be doing that.
For sure.
But I guess overall, family-wise, I'm at a 9, just because the whole idea of us going back to normalcy, I guess. Getting my daughter actually coming over to my apartment now. Now they won't be supervised. I just finished my sessions with my counselor, so I'm gonna get a certificate for that completion. So I've been doing good, man. It's been great, going great for me as far as life goes. What about yourself, man?
Let's go, bro. Nothing but blessings, man. But
thanks.
no stealing, man. No stealing.
No stealing.
I've been good, man. It's been a while, guys. We apologize for the inconvenience of not being uploaded daily or weekly. We've been, how life is, man. Like fathers, things come up and stuff like that. So we're just trying to work around that. Me personally, man, I've been pretty good, man. I would say personally a 7. Like we were speaking before, I've been kind of slacking lately, bro. Kind of like sluggish, like you said. Not giving a lot of effort, bro, and we should all the time. Not just with this channel, anything to do with work wise, relationship wise, like fatherhood lives in general. So I would say my personally a 7, and family as I would say family is a little bit of 8 for the fact that I've been getting a little bit better along with my partner, and obviously with the kids, kids are gonna be kids, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nah, man, I've been pretty solid, man. Thank God for another day of life. But we bring in today's guest, man, Adonis. Kind of like check in with you, bro, but also like give us explanation, like, hey, I'm Adonis, give who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, my name is Adonis, and of course, thank you for inviting me, guys. I appreciate it. The opportunity,
here, man.
It's always something fun, like
the mic a little closer.
To do.
Put the mic a little closer.
Oh, okay, right there.
Yeah,
all right. Well, yeah, I would say something about myself. I mean, like my kids. I have a 1-year-old and one on the way. He'll be here in January.
Sweet.
That's 3 birthdays in January. Me, my son, and my newborn. So,
damn.
I mean, that's
you gotta have a big bash, bro.
Yeah.
The 3 triple
birthday. I get that a lot. People are like, "Oh, so is it 1 party or is it 3 parties?" I don't know. I'll probably like switch it up every year. Probably like 3 parties one year, 1 party 1 year. Like
you gotta have your own party too sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's like from when my son was born, it changed my life completely. Like.
Sure.
I'm not the same person I was before. My son teaches. My son, I believe he's like been the best teacher for me at like his youngest age. He's taught me so much, so I think I deserve to teach him something too. Like I mean, just a lot of things. He's taught me like a lot of patience. The patience is like the biggest one, you know.
Exactly.
For sure, bro.
I mean, you have to be patient with a kid, newborns, you know, especially. And he's just taught me to like have like another outlook on life, you know, overall.
Sure.
Like I don't look at like problems like I used to. Before problems could have been like, oh, like my car is messing up, or like there's like the drain's not working. It's just little things like that. Like I would consider problems before. Now I don't consider them problems. Now it's like, oh, is something wrong with it? Oh, I'll fix it like that. It doesn't matter. A problem to me now is like, oh, my kid is sick.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Exactly.
a doctor. I know something, but I don't know everything. You
Exactly,
know,
bro.
so I mean, like that's a problem to me now.
Yeah.
Things like that, or like, oh, he needs his diapers or anything like that. I remember growing up, like a lot of people would always be like, hey, like, are you ready for kids? And I was like, nah, I'm not. Like
Never ready,
wasn't,
bro.
I wasn't ready. But the thing is, like, one thing that I did know is that people would be like, oh, they're really expensive. This and that. Honestly, bro, to me, like,
I feel like it's the same, bro.
I feel like, I mean, the diapers like $40. I mean, you go out and spend that.
I would say they're expensive if you're trying to live like I guess a multitude of lifestyles.
Yeah.
You know, because you got to
For sure.
sacrifice when you get
Mhm.
a kid. So they do come with a price, but you're also spending that money already. As it is.
Yeah, like you
So-
were already spending that money before on things
Yeah.
you probably didn't
Didn't
even
need
need.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So like to me, it was like nah, like bring it on. You know, like I have one, the second one's on the way. So like yeah, like I'm not ready, but I think I'm prepared.
For sure,
You
bro.
know? So I mean, I would say like my life like right now, like I would feel like at a maybe like an 8. Reason being is because I feel like I'm doing better than I was before.
For
you
sure.
know? And part of that I owe it to my kids.
What about
And,
mentally, man? How you doing mentally?
Mentally, I would say I 9 as well. Well 9 because I recently started like back trying to work out and stuff. Like I had
Sweet.
never been
Sure.
like so overweight like I am now. But I feel like part of that is because like the COVID and stuff like that. Like if I didn't do nothing before, that made it like 10 times worse, you know.
Yeah.
But now I recently just started like trying to get back on it, and this time
Mhm.
like it's like a thing that I've never done before, because when I used to work out before, it was like something like 2-3 days, and I was like, like I don't want to do it no more. But this time like I'm sticking with it, and like
For
I'm
sure.
actually doing a lot more. I didn't know anything about like supplements or anything like that, or any fat burner. I've never done none of that.
Yeah.
But Gilbert helped me out with that. He gave me some stuff, so I'm taking it.
Gilbert works out.
Yeah, he's out here coming in clutch, you know, like.
You know.
And like I have a lot of friends around me that like do work out and stuff like that, so I'll hit them up every now and then, get some pointers.
Yeah,
but,
bro, for sure.
yeah, so I feel like that.
Papi J over here.
That's very important though, bro. And the reason why I ask how you do mentally is because I think that's one of the things that we don't talk about as men. So that's why I always, like you said right now, you work out, right?
Yeah.
And that's helping out you,
Yeah.
helping you out mentally.
It is.
You get me? And all that, if you're not good mentally yourself, it affects your relationship with your kids. And how does it
Yeah.
affect it? It's the quality of parenting, bro. You know, like we can say it doesn't, but at the end of the day, like whether it be work stressors, whether it be interactions with people on a day, a customer, or whatever the case may be, right?
Mhm.
That can weigh down on you, and that energy could just drain you. And little do you know, you're taking it out on your child, which
For
is
sure.
why it affects your quality of
Yeah.
parenting.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
but that's good though, man. Thanks for the check-in. I just want to mention too, also, like Gilbert said earlier, I know we don't have Toby here right now, and I know it's been delayed as far as when we're releasing content. And that's part of the, I guess, the game right now for us, just trying to figure out, you know, our schedules, getting together, coming together. And Toby right now, like we mentioned, is on a freaking vacation, so that's cool for him, man. That shout out to
Yeah.
Toby again. But again, there's probably gonna be days where I'm not here, Gilbert's not here, but
Yeah.
we're still gonna make the content at some point and get some people out here like we did with Adonis. Maybe somebody else at some other point in time, but you know, try to stick with us, man. We want to get we want to get this community rolling. You know, community of fathers. It's not about, you know, getting fame or anything like that. It's about getting that community together, man, so we can, you know, talk about things like this, share our experiences, and learn from each other at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's needed, man, because like I think I have a group chat on my Instagram, and one of the things was, it was like a meme. They sent a meme, and it was like, it showed like a man, I guess, about to drown, and he hadn't drowned yet. And then the second picture, it showed him like, I guess, it had like a little quote. It said, problems, financial problems, a bunch of things like that he's
Yeah.
dealing with, right? And then it showed another picture. Society, shut up and be a man. And then another picture showed him drowning and his like mental health suffers, and it's like damn, like that shit. Like most of the time, that's what we gotta do. Like we're going through shit. We're like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna be a man about it. Like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm gonna tough it out. And like, bro, like that only gets you so far, bro. Like there comes a point in time where like
A
you hit a
breaking
brick
point.
wall, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, bro. Like you gotta speak, you gotta talk, and that's what we try to bridge that gap with not talking to talking about those things, because man, like our mental health suffers at the end of the day, and we gotta make that stigma be removed. We gotta talk about those things and help each other out, man, but the community. But diving into the content for today, it's parental conflicts, a thing that I think everybody deals with, not even just parents, but relationships, couples deal with that. It's you gotta understand, conflict, how it happens, why it happens. How can you be better through it, because that's one of the things that can dissolve the relationship. And I was telling Gilbert before, if you look at the percentage of marriages, I think it's gone down, but it's still close to 50%.
Yeah.
And that brings the question, why? Why is it that half, get divorced? And it's like it just brought me to question, like, is it conflicts? People are not understanding each other, people are not communicating, people are not trying to, I guess, collaborate or compromise, whatever the case may be. What is it? What is it about it? And thankfully, to the thing we've been looking into as fatherhood.gov, we found a good little activity, and we're gonna start off with a story. But first, let's dive into what conflict is. It's a serious disagreement or argument, typically a protracted one, lasting longer than usual. Parental conflict is considered a disagreement that leads to a greater or lesser interaction of parents. The interaction can vary from very positive to very negative. So I'll touch base on that. Conflicts are gonna happen, man. You cannot avoid that. It's inevitable. Are you dealing with them in a positive way or in a negative way? Because if you have not thought about that before, think about it now, because it affects your children, especially if they're around you. And you can't say, "Oh, I don't argue in front of my kids." It's sometimes you do that. It's kind of unavoidable as well, especially if you're in the kitchen and they're in the living room.
They hear everything.
And
They hear everything, bro.
Exactly. So think about it, man. Reflect on how you're having your arguments. Are you listening to your partner? Are you understanding your partner? Are you using your ego? Do you have pride? How can you remove the pride? And it takes effort, man. And I think that's why people get divorced, because they don't want to apply that effort, because it's very costly, bro. Like it takes you literally like saying like, okay, forget what I think or what I feel or what I'm wanting to do or my emotions for the moment. Like, let's look at the situation as far as objects. Let's not be subjective, let's be objective. What is it that we're arguing about? What is it that we're talking about? What is, I guess, the core of it, And how can we respond to this in a healthy manner, because in doing so, it's a positive reaction, and your child also learns how to react positive to disagreements, arguments, conflicts that they're going to have in their life. So your reaction, your response to your arguments are going to be basically an image of what your child is going to see and want to do growing
They're
up.
going to want to mirror it.
For sure.
Exactly. So let's dive into that story, man. Pretty good story. So
that story's pretty amazing, bro.
Yeah, you want to read it?
Nah, go for it, bro.
All right. So it's called IALAC story. This is a story about Andre and his most prized possessions, his IALAC sign. When Andre was born, he was just like the rest of us. He came equipped with a sign called IALAC. What does that mean? It stands for I am lovable, and capable. I am lovable and capable. That's what it stands for. Because it was invisible, no one, not his parents, relatives, or the doctor who delivered him, knew it was there. Nevertheless, it was shiny and new, and in the earliest days of Andre's life, when his young mother and father, who were happy and in love, stroked him, kissed him, and admired him, his IALAC sign actually grew a little bit larger and stronger every day. The sign is an indication of that children come into this world free of self-doubt, feelings of shame, inferiority, or anything negative. They must learn those things from the people and the world around them, and so it began for Andre. At age 3, Andre and his mom and his dad did a lot of things together. They had fun on the playground and watched cartoons on Saturdays. One day at the playground, he heard his mom and dad yelling at each other. Andre felt scared. He went over to give his dad a hug, and his father pushed him away and told him to go back to the swings. His father's face looked so mean, and Andre started to cry. His mom came over and hugged him, but Andre still felt scared. R.I.P. Rip one out. Very small piece of Andre's IALAC sign fell off. Andre didn't feel so lovable and capable at the moment. When Andre was almost 4, he overheard his mother, Mika, and his grandmother, Sarah, talking about his father. His grandmother said, "That man ain't no good. He doesn't ever have any money. He can't even buy medicine when the boy is sick. You don't need a good boy. You don't need that no good dog." Andre didn't understand exactly what his grandmother meant, but he could tell by her voice that she was mad at his daddy, and that made Andre very sad. Another piece of his IALAC sign broke off because Andre wanted his mom and his grandmother to love his daddy like he did. R.I.P. Rip it out.
Another one.
On his fourth birthday, Andre heard his father at the door. He went running to the door, but his mother was there looking very mad. She and his daddy started to yell at each other. His mom said, "Where's the money you promised? I don't want to see that stupid toy you bought for his birthday. He needs clothes and food." Andre covered his ears and started back into his room, but not before he heard his father say, "You bitch, you can't keep me away from my son. I hate you." R.I.P. Rip another one. A few months later, Andre was visiting his father. They went to see a Disney movie. It was a good day with his dad. They then went to a lady named Miss Kim's house for dinner. Andre didn't like the way Miss Kim hugged and kissed his daddy. Andre told Miss Kim that her macaroni and cheese didn't taste as good as his mommy's. Miss Kim got mad and called his mommy a bad name. Andre's dad told him to eat and tell Miss Kim that her food was good. Andre told his dad that he wanted to go home to his mommy, and his dad got real mad. It wasn't a good day anymore. R.I.P. Rip another letter out. A year later, Andre started kindergarten. His mom called him her little man. He was growing up fast. She said, "Your daddy doesn't come over to see you like he should. He's no good. I know when you grow up, you will never be like him." Andre felt confused. He still loved his dad and wanted to spend time with him. Sometimes he thinks that his dad doesn't visit him a lot because his mother and grandmother are so mean to him. Andre worries that they are driving him away. A week later, his father called. Andre said, "Dad, please come get me. I want to go with you." His dad promised he would come. Andre took his bath and got dressed. He waited and waited, but his dad never came. Andre kept waiting. Finally, his mom told him his dad wasn't coming. She asked if he wanted spaghetti, his favorite, for dinner. Andre said he was not hungry. His stomach hurt, and his heart did too. R.I.P. Another letter ripped out. When Andre was in second grade, he had gotten kind of used to not seeing his father much. It was no big deal. He started getting into trouble a lot in school. His teacher said he had a behavior problem. Nowadays, his mother was always tired when she got home from work. She never laughed much anymore. Today after school, his mom was screaming mad. She said the school called her at work and said they were expelling him for calling a little girl a bitch. Andre's mom yelled at him, "What do you know about calling somebody a bitch? This is awful. I don't know who you are. You are just like your no good daddy. You're gonna grow up and break somebody's heart just like he broke mine. I can't take this anymore." Andre just stood there and acted like he didn't care. He learned that this was the best way to deal with his mother when she started screaming. But inside, he wondered, was his daddy no good? Does his daddy not love him? Does his daddy love him? Was he just like his dad? A big piece of his IALAC sign cracked and fell off. The fun R.I.P. All letters ripped out. So that's the story, man, about Andre. I guess first let's just talk a little bit about what y'all think about the story. You know, like I guess the interaction first of the parents who are there in the swing, and the dad just pushes the kid to go back to the swings. And then the next one was the mom and the grandma talking about the dad in front of the kid's face and, you know, calling him those kind of names. And the kid doesn't know exactly why they're calling him that, but he's hearing these things, right? And then even pushing it further now, the next one where he's at Miss Kim's house and, you know, he's kind of bothered by, you know, Miss Kim kissing dad, whatever, and mentioning that, you know, he doesn't like her macaroni as much as his mommy's, and his dad getting mad and kind of, I guess, forcing him to like her, which I don't think is right either. And then even further now, you know, he's experiencing those things as far as getting in trouble in kindergarten, and then to the point where in second grade he doesn't care that much anymore. He's dealing with this thing
sure.
as far as just like, you know, kind of being like numb to it. You know, what do y'all think, man?
For sure, bro. Like when you think about it, bro, when a child comes into this world, bro, he's so innocent. Like he doesn't know anything. You know what I mean? As they grow, bro, like as they grow, like you said, like they just kind of, or we were talking about off camera, they just kind of learn or see what we're doing and kind of mimic that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So basically, when babies are born, like, oh my god, he's so cute, he's so lovable. Oh, I love you, hugs and kisses. As soon as they grow old, they kind of start seeing like, yo, like, what happened to all your so lovable hugs and kisses?
Yeah.
Now you guys are always fighting, or you're getting mad at me for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's things like that, bro. Like it really, like this story really touched me, bro. And I shared with Emily about this, and she was like, man, like she almost wanted to cry. She's like, you know what? Like, I never thought about it in this situation or this aspect. Like,
There is
we
kids'
were fighting, you know
eyes.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like damn, like I never thought about that. So she's like, like we should be better, obviously. So it's true, bro. Like sometimes we don't even see what we're doing, bro, and it's wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's little things like that, bro. But yeah, man, like this story speaks facts, bro. Like it really got me thinking. Remember when George shared it to me, I was like, damn, bro. Like it really like it makes you want to cry, bro, because just like, damn, bro. Like I need to be better. I need to be a better parent.
Yeah.
What
do
you
you think?
done?
Yeah, I mean, this story really touched me because the whole time you were reading it, I actually was thinking like my son.
Yeah.
I mean, my son, his name is basically like mine. He's junior. Um, but the thing is like while you were reading it, I just pictured it being him. The whole time. So
For sure.
it touched me, and it feels really bad. And it's like I feel like it's like one of the reasons why like whenever like I'm having problems with my girlfriend Jalissa, like it's like something that pulls me back, something that tells me like no, like you have to like be the bigger person. So I mean, sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes she gives me some leeway, and she like becomes the bigger person. But yeah, it has to be like
Mutual team, bro.
understanding
Yeah.
from both of us.
Right.
And more than that, it's just because of like the way that the kid started acting. He started lashing out. Like when as he got older, he was bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's something that I'm pretty sure nobody wants to see their kid have to
Right.
go through or have to do. So
And it's the thing like for me like touching up on what he did, I guess going get into kindergarten, getting in trouble and all that. Like my oldest one, I don't know if you know me like to my kids and how like my oldest one is from a different mom, so she doesn't live with me. So I don't know if like things like that, like her parents not being together, affect her to cause her to do things like that. I mean, it's still early to tell, right? Because it just happened this past week too. But that just brings the question to me. As like, why is she acting like that? Like, how is did she learn it from somewhere? Is she just trying to like, I guess, get attention?
Mhm.
What is she doing really? Because I know like. Before the season started for soccer as well, like she was, I was telling Gilbert also that she was kind of being kind of weird when I first would, I guess, get to see her because I don't know if you knew or if you probably saw it in the episodes before, but my visits were supervised with her. I could see her, but they had to be supervised, and that alone just was a very, I guess, not a natural way of seeing your daughter
Yeah.
because it had to be supervised. You feel like you're kind of you had to watch your kid,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it. So, and not just that, but it was also on a time frame. So I feel like I got to be there from this time to this time, and like I got to make those hours count. Sometimes she get there a little bit late. Sometimes I get there a little bit late because of whatever traffic, et cetera, et cetera. So it just didn't. I didn't like the way it was structured. I don't like it at all. And if it wasn't like that, where I had to be supervised by my parent, my mom, it had to be the third party. So in other words, somebody random that the child support division will, I guess, provide or offer to a third party contractor to watch me watch my daughter. And like, and you got to pay for that too. So I'm like, I don't want to do that either. But nonetheless, though, like that itself, like I guess I know it affected her because for one, she was not coming over like she regularly did. Two, she wasn't seeing it as often, and then three, the time frame, like I said earlier, the time frame and just it being like in that situation affecting her. So now moving forward, she can actually see me now with not being supervised, but like I said, she was stealing, so it makes me wonder, does that affect her in that aspect, right? But I guess she never seen, or I never really argued with her mom like that in front of her. I mean, her mom and I were never together even to begin with, like when she was born. So it's hard to say that it's arguments that happen. It's just the fact that we're not together, I guess, or the fact that she feels like she's not a part of our family because I have a younger daughter as well, and I'm with my fiance. So we have our family, and my daughter, obviously, my older one's still part of our family, but it's just that she probably didn't feel like she was part of our family with that separation.
For sure.
So one of the things that my fiance did was she showed her the scrapbook, and there she went through the pictures and she saw herself. And she kind of seemed shocked about that she was on there. I don't know why. I'm like, dude, like you've been around, like you're still around. You're gonna be around. We're gonna be around. Like you're still family. It's not like you're not family. But for me in my head, when I was looking at her reactions, it was registering as like she probably felt like she's not part of our family or I'm not included. But it's like, nah, like you are. Like never think you're not. So I like that my fiance actually showed her that scrapbook because it kind of like put that into her head, like yo, like you're still here, like we're still all together.
That's dope, man. That with this story, there's something that me and Gilbert really can't relate to, but you might be able to. The part where he went to go eat. How would you have handled that situation?
The part where he went to go with his partner.
Yeah.
So like I know like right now like I think my daughter loves Alyssa. I'm gonna call her Alyssa. That way you know who I'm talking about. Alyssa's my fiance. I think my daughter Bella, my other one's Bella. She likes Alyssa, and she likes her a lot, man. I think it's just because of the fact that she's always been there since day one. Literally, since she was born, she's been there. Like that's the only person she's always known for me to be with. So I think that's what helps me out too. The fact that she's always been there. So my daughter, that's the only person she knows. She did her makeup with her.
Yeah.
Little play dates with her, ate with her, like literally everything. Like if she was her own daughter. So like, I never want her to feel forced to like Alyssa. I would like for her to like Alyssa, and I believe she does, and from the looks of how she treats her and how she asks for her more than she asks for me when I see her. I'm just like, bro, like, you don't miss me, like I'm here, bro.
It's like, okay, daddy.
Like she's like, Dad, where's Alyssa? I'm like, well, Alyssa's at
like,
work. She's busy. I'm like, I'm
hello
here.
to you too.
And I was like, damn. But I mean, that's basically it though. But I guess what I would say though, I'm trying to go back to the topic of arguments. Like, I think arguing though is one of the things that my partner and I have worked at a lot and gotten better at. And I say that because, like I said, it's inevitable to
for sure.
have arguments. But you're gonna have arguments. But I think more now, it's been a lot healthier. The reason being is because some things had happened before that got us to the position that we're in right now, and that situation, that experience, helped me and my partner not realize but open up our eyes more, because it's something that's known that, you know, if you I guess get involved with law and stuff like that, like, you know, where it's gonna hit to, you know about it. It's not that you're not, I guess, you're not, how do I say it, like, you're not aware, but you don't think it'll happen to you, I guess, kind of way. So when you're actually going through, you're like, oh shoot, like we're here now, like what the heck happened, like
how do we get here?
Yeah, like how do you get here, type of shit. So you gotta, like, I guess, question
track.
it, you know. And like I'm one of those that doesn't like to, like, I always try to be better, man, like just in general, as a person, as an individual. So the fact that I had my relationship, my family got to that point in time, like it sucked for me, bro. So I had to like really reevaluate, you know, like what am I doing wrong? And I say me because I can only fix me, bro. Like I can't fix my partner. Like I can tell my partner what is wrong with me and what I know I need to fix for me, and, you know, have a conversation with her. That's you know, 2% job. Yeah, to build that up, so that way maybe in turn her realizing that I'm actually not saying like, oh, like you're doing this wrong, like, because that's the way I'm approaching the topic now. I'm not saying like, oh, baby, you're doing this wrong. It's like, no, bro, like. Because then, if I do that, it's gonna cause her to get triggered by it, and then she's
because you're saying something's wrong with her instead of you.
Yeah, so you gotta turn it to you and be like,
make it into an I,
bro. Yeah, like what am I doing? Yeah. Like, how can I be better? You know, and that's what I was doing, bro. And in turn, like I went through this whole counseling sessions, which is very, very good, because it was about parenting awareness. It was about a lot of things, you know, whether it be substance abuse, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, domestic abuse, parenting abuse, parenting awareness. Like, it was a bunch of different kinds of courses, but it was cool because, like, it's things that, again, like I said, we kind of know, but we are not, like, I guess, fully understanding the content of what it actually means, or, you know, methods or strategies to use in, you know, life itself. So me putting myself in that, I got to see the growth of my relationship, you know, as far as how we handle our struggles or our arguments. Because another thing too, through that, my partner seek therapy herself. So in that, like, I got to see her change through it too, because we actually had an argument, I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, and it was because she said something and I had like a remark to it, and I was just trying to be witty, and it triggered her. She got upset, and instead of, like, I guess the way she would respond before, she kind of just approached me, looked me directly in the eye, and with the, like, stern tone, told me why she got upset and why I should stop. And I was just like, oh shit, like, I kind of just talked to my tracks, and I was like, all right, like, I'm sorry. Like,
that's a little bit better, because if it was the other way around, you might have gotten defensive. I mean, I know that's for me. I'm not saying you. I'm sorry. I'm saying, like, if that would have happened, like, if that's the way that all like of the problems went with me and Jalissa, I'm pretty sure, like, a lot more better outcomes would be out of that, because there has been times where, like, if we get in an argument or something, like, if I say something and she starts saying stuff back to me, then I'm like it's like she's like challenging me, you know, like, or she's like,
and that's
telling me, belittling me or something like that. So
I think that's why it becomes hard too. That's why I said earlier, like, we gotta understand when it's our ego and our pride and all that, because when they start saying names, bro, like, it's hard to keep your cool, right? But like that's the battle within you. You know, you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
figure
for
out
sure.
how can I stay composed even though this person is trying to belittle me. Like, sure, you don't want to take the disrespect, you don't want to take the name calling or whatever the case may be, but you also can retaliate because if you retaliate, that just makes the situation worse. And then sometimes it leads to things that you don't want it to lead into. You get me? And that's the whole idea of it. The whole idea of it is to understand, you know, how can I stay composed when shit like that happens? Do I walk out of the room? Do I just, you know, I guess revisit the topic whenever she's cooled down and be like, hey, like I don't like it when you they call me this because, you know, I kept my cool at that point in time, but I was on the edge, you know, and I didn't. Thank God it didn't get pushed off the edge. I was able to keep my cool, but the whole idea is you don't want to have to be constantly, I guess. You don't want to retaliate, bro, because it's just gonna get it worse, and you don't want to have to constantly be reminding the person, you know, that she has to understand herself as well, you know. Again, it's not that you can fix her; you got to fix yourself, and in fixing yourself, you hope that she sees that change in you, and she in turn will fix herself. Because I think that's one of the things that I don't know who told me that, but you know, if you want something to change, you first yourself got to change because people around you will notice that change, and then they in turn will probably change again because you can't change somebody if you're not changing yourself. Like you gotta understand, like you grow in life and you gotta understand experiences happen, so you learn from that and you grow from that. And that's where I found myself with my partner, which is why I said like her reaction at that point in time, where she actually, you know, approached me directly and looked me in the eyes and told me in a stern tone, you know, what was bothering her or what triggered her, bro. Like that. That to me I was actually fucking shocked. I was like, oh shit, like you talking to me like this is a healthy way to do it. And that's why I was like, okay.
And it's more effective, right? Because I mean, it got through to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like, and I was like, okay, I got you. Like, that's my bad. And I was like, all right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the arguments now are a lot better. And one of the things that even like also now me, I guess, trying to give her constructive criticism before, I think, like, that's another thing, too. We sometimes cause arguments by the things we say, and sometimes we don't mean it a certain way.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they're not, they come off, I guess, offending to our partner. And,
it's not how you say is. I mean, it's not what you say; it's how you say
exactly. It. So I know one of the things that I used for her on an example was a Deion Sanders quote. So I mentioned the quote, and what was it, man? What was it she was doing? Or it was about a workout. So she mentioned she wanted to work out after school, and she didn't go work out. Instead, she went to go have I guess drinks with one of her coworkers, one of her good friends, some chick that she works with. And when she got home, she's like, I didn't even get to go to the gym. And there I would have said, you could have gone to the gym, but you just would choose to go drink with your friend. You get me? If I would have said that, she probably would have gotten triggered by it and be like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I'm tired because of work. And, you know, there it goes. Instead, I'm like, I let it be, and I was like, all right, cool. And I saw a Deion Sanders quote that talked about discipline, talked about, you know, certain principles. And I told it to her. And I was like, that's crazy. You know what Deion Sanders would have said about, like, if I wanted to work out, like, I would have made the time and the effort to it, you know, instead of going to go drink, I would have done that. And she was just like, whatever. And I was just like, you see, because I'm using it as a way to, I guess, bring the convo in a positive light through somebody that I look up to, fucking Deion Sanders, right?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Like, he's an athlete. You can't say that he's wrong because he's fucking he's a Hall of Famer. He's successful. Like, he has principles. So, like, if I bring that into the equation, like, our conversation will not end up in an argument because there's proof instead of me just saying that, well, you could have just gone work out instead of do that.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
quoting someone.
Exactly. So that's one of the things that helped me out. And again, like, I think the whole idea of this, man, is not necessarily to, like, you know, this is how you deal with conflict. It's not about that. It's kind of like just figuring out yourself and your partner.
For sure.
Because everybody is going to handle their own conflict differently. And we'll touch based upon things that you can use, I guess 6 methods that we found through an article. But I guess any experiences you've had, bro, I guess any changes. I know I sent you the article about 2 weeks ago when we got the content together. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, bro. Like you said, man. Like it's for me, and I go with you as well. Like bettering my relationship as well. Like through the information you send me, but also just personal experience, man. Like lately we've been more like, hey, like, this bothers me. Like, how can we fix it? You know what I mean? Right. Or I just, you know, I'm like you, bro. Like what you said, like I haven't had time to work out, and I always tell her, like, nah, you just choose not to make time for it. Like, you go and do dumb stuff, or like bring your phone for a couple hours, and it's just like you said, it triggers her. So it's like you said, bro, like, I need to work on myself. As I'm the type of person like you're explaining, bro, like that it's like, well, I'm right, like, and everyone knows it here, right? I mean, like, especially Adonis, like, I'm always right, bro. Like, that's just the thing, bro. Like, and the thing is that I do need to be better on that, bro. But that's just the way I've been. So I just, like, you know what, like, I do need to better myself on that part. and be more open minded, man. Because I'm real not. I am open minded, bro. But when I have my mind set, bro, it's like no changing me. You know what I mean? Like there's no changing me. Like unless you kind of like really break me down and explain to me like, all right, like I'm wrong. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me to say those words.
Very hard.
Yeah, it's very hard to say those words, man.
I think not only you, but I think a lot of us are like that, and that's also the reason why it's hard for us to understand how to work through our relationships or our struggles or our conflicts, because things of that nature, bro. Like we kind of are set in our own way, kind of want it to be our way at times. We think we're always right, and that may not be the case, because it's kind of hard, bro. Like you gotta like look at it from an outsider perspective, like your relationship. That way you can understand, where you can work on yourself again. Because you can't change your partner, you can only change yourself and get better yourself, and in turn your partner will follow when she sees those changes. Like you're doing things differently.
For sure.
One of the things that I think I told you about was I mentioned to you like a question that I'm doing myself to challenge myself to. That's my girl was. How can I make your day better? And it's just a simple little thing, bro. And like it's honestly helped, bro. Like
it goes a long way. Yeah.
I was like, how can I make your day better? And like the other day she was like, take out all the trash. All the trash, bro. Like there's other things I could do, right? But like she's just saying one thing to do, and I'll do it. That one thing. I'll still do the other things, of course, right? But it's very important because that shows the communication that you're actually listening to something that she wants you to do. You get me? And that's essentially what's helping us out too. So
exactly, bro.
Things of that nature, bro. Like again, I didn't do that before. I mean, I probably did it subconsciously, like just throwing out the trash, but like actually like engaging with her. And I didn't know like how can I make your day better. She's like, oh, just throw out the trash. Oh, wash the dishes. Okay, I got you. Do it. And then doing it, it's like, okay, like in herself, in her mind, she's like, you're listening to me. Like I mean, I assume that's what she's thinking. I can't read her mind, right? But like that's the goal. That's the idea of it. Like I want her to understand. Like I'm gonna do it. Like, instead of like, oh, I'll do it later, because that also in turn brings other kinds of conflicts, other arguments, things of that nature. Because oh, you didn't throw out the trash today, whatever, blah blah blah. Get mad. Like and again, like all that is inevitable, bro. Like you cannot avoid conflict. Like you can't tell me there's one couple out there that does not argue, bro. Like the point is you got to understand yourself and your partner, your relationship, and how you work and build through that together. And if you can't do that, or you find it hard, like oftentimes it's gonna be look into yourself and see what is it with yourself that you can fix, man. And I would say it's probably our ego, it's our pride, and it really
in my head I'm just thinking about Swaggy P when he's like, oh, you happy with your girl, but you arguing happy? Like that, when you were explaining that's all in my head, and I was thinking about, I was smirking over here, bro.
Though. I'm athlete, shout out. Now, but dude, that like for real, man. Like I think that goes a long way, man. Like knowing how to argue, bro. Cause like
exactly. That's a big thing, man.
I'll read a little bit into what it says, parental conflicts and the effects on children. Like if children are used to witnessing conflict and poor emotional regulation on a regular basis, this will be their understanding of social relationships as their social network expands later in their prevalence of mental health. So basically that's what that's saying is, again, we talked about earlier, they mirror your reaction to things, right? So how you argue, how you handle your arguments is going to be essentially the way they feel like they got to handle their situations. So if you handle your arguments in a positive manner, your child will do the same. Because they're going to have arguments or problems, bro, whether it be in school with a friend, whether it be in the relationship they're in the future, whether it be with their teacher, whether it be with their employer, wherever they're at, man. And, you learn how to, I guess, affect them in a positive way on how to respond positively to arguments or disagreements or whatever the case may be. Like, it'll help them be successful in life and how to, be a better person and grow through that as well themselves. And not just that, but also like things of that nature, like arguments, negative arguments for that matter, do cause a negative effect on your child, such as anxiety disorders, mood swings, attention deficit hyperactivity, which is ADHD, conduct or oppositional defiant disorder, which is them misbehaving or not listening to authority. Which again, like I'm never my oldest one. I never argued with her mom in front of her or at all for that matter like that. If anything we had common was because we're co-parent obviously. Yeah. So things of that nature, maybe we had conflict before, but I don't think it's ever been in front of our daughter. And I mean, I don't know, man. There's a reason why she's not listening to authority figures or us whenever we told her not to steal because she did it again. So that's just something that I'm experiencing. So I had to figure out, exactly what's going on. If it's just something for the thrill of it or what is it, man? So
yeah, bro, that's crazy, man.
Or maybe she just wants chips.
Also, bro, I don't know, bro, because I know you said she snacks out. I don't know, man. It's crazy because you don't know what's going on in a child's head. Like they just do it, bro. Like they don't know. And or maybe a kid, maybe a kid at school, bro. Maybe a kid at school is like, hey, let's get some chips.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like influence, though.
Maybe they're a gang, bro. They're a step cheater gang, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. That's crazy, man. So right now you're talking about the self-awareness, right? Or we're
Yeah,
talking
so
about mindfulness.
no, we're going to the basically the methods you can use. Yeah, self awareness actually. Again, these are just several methods you can use, man. We found it off a website. We'll put the URL, the
Yeah,
link
I'll
to
put
that
that.
on the video. That way you can check it out. Again, we're doing this so we can kind of give you an insight about it. You know, you don't gotta really read the articles, but if you do, the more knowledge to you, and knowledge is power, right? So the first one would be self-awareness, man. Noticing what we feel and naming it is a great step toward emotional regulation. For example, when you feel bad, ask yourself, am I feeling sad, hopeless, ashamed, anxious? Like, name your emotion, bro. Because if you do that, it's gonna help you understand what it is that's making you feel that way more. Give yourself options to explore your feelings. Shed any specific emotions that you can feel intensely within yourself at every moment, and write them down if you need to, right? You don't need to act or judge on these emotions. You just want to know exactly what you're feeling, so you're naming it. You're being self-aware about it. And then mindful awareness is in addition to gaining thought awareness. Mindfulness lets us explore and identify all aspects of external world, including our body. Simple mindful exercises such as breath control or sensory relaxation can calm the storm inside and guide our actions in the right way. I think my partner does that in the way that she meditates or she gathers her thoughts. She just breathes. Like she kind of like I guess has this way of breathing. And when she does that, I know she's going through something like she's stressed or something that just bothering her in her head, and she's doing that. And like that's good, bro, because it's helping you get collected. And that's one of the methods that y'all can try. There's more other methods you can try, right? But that's one of the methods that she tries, and it helps her out to gather her thoughts. The next one's cognitive reappraisal, which includes the altering of the way we think. It is an essential component of psychotherapies like CBT, DBT, and anger management. Basically, it's a thought replacement or situational role reversals. Because I think sometimes we're bothered by things that occur to us in our life, and it's not like that. Like I know my partner, she sometimes thinks that like her boss is like out to get her, but I'm like, hold up, like maybe it's not like that. Maybe she's not out to get you. Maybe she's going through something that she needs you for you to finish, and that's all it is. She needs you to get a test done. Maybe she feels like, oh, like my boss is gonna like she hates me. I'm no longer needed here. Like maybe it's not like that. Maybe she's just upset because he got upset at her because she didn't meet a deadline, and it's a team effort.
Yeah.
Like there's other things that you gotta get out your
For
mind
sure.
and look at the situation from an outsider perspective, like I said, so you can understand what exactly is going on. The next one's adaptability. I think that's a big one, man. I think it's critical in every aspect of life, essentially, right? But its emotional dysregulation lowers our adaptability to life changes. We become more prone to distractions and fail our coping mechanisms, which is why we often start resisting changes. When you feel bogged down by stressful emotions that you want to avoid and you might end up destructively reacting to them, take a moment to think, what if your best friend was experiencing the same thing? What would you have suggested they do in these circumstances? I like that because it's kind of like you're going through something, and instead of, I guess, responding to it, you ask yourself, what would you tell your friend if they were in your shoes? Because you're giving yourself basically your own advice.
Yeah.
Because you would give that advice to your friend, you take yourself out of that situation, put yourself in your friend's shoes, giving you your advice. Help us out, man. Self compassion is setting aside some of ourselves every day is a great way to build emotional regulation skills. Basically, like daily positive affirmations, relaxation and breath control, compassion meditation, regular self care, gratitude journaling. You mentioned working out. That's self compassion for yourself, bro. Again, you need to be good up here to be able to help out your partner and your family and your kids, man. Again, self compassion could be a range of things, whether it be painting, hearing music, writing music, poems, going for a jog, working out, cooking a meal, a new recipe. Like there's so many things out there, man. You gotta, and not just that. There is so many things out there, and there's positive and negative ways of coping with things, right? So that's another conversation. But whatever your coping mechanisms are, evaluate them, man. Like look at them. See what you do already as a coping mechanism, and question it. Why do you do it? How is it positive? Is it negative? Can it be negative? Because some things that we do we think are helping us out, but really it's just kind of like delaying our emotions, delaying our what we're actually feeling. It doesn't fix reality. It doesn't fix anything. It's just helping you delay what you're feeling right now or numbing it away. And if that's what you're doing to cope with your things, man, like
You just explode later.
exactly, bro. You're going down a road where it's gonna come back to haunt you, and it's gonna be worse then because you didn't handle it when you should have. You feel me? You gotta adjust situations as they come. And then emotional support. I mean, I think we all need that, man, from our partners and ourselves. And I think our children are one of the things that gives us that emotional support. But what do y'all feel about all these methods, man? Like, how do y'all feel like y'all need work on them, or if y'all have one specifically y'all want to work on, or one that you can, address the audience that you would recommend that has helped you out? Again, it's not you don't gotta like listen to us exactly as what we do is gonna help you out, because again, we're all different. So maybe what I'm doing is not something that you're doing, and it's helping you out in a different way.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say for me, it's just been I need to do better when it comes to all of them. But one thing that I am doing more now is, like I said, like I started working out. Like it is better for me. I think in my mental health, like a lot, because now I'm not as agitated like I used to be a lot. Like now I'm like I feel more free. Like I've not felt this way in a very long time. Where I mean, I didn't think that just working out was gonna change like my lifestyle. Like I mean, yeah, sure, I just started, but like it's something where I'm like I can see myself doing it for like a long time because of the effect that it's had on me already. Like I feel so much better. Like I just feel like relieved now. Like
Right.
going to the gym has become like almost therapy for me now, because it's like when I go, it like I'm away from everyone, right?
Right.
Like I need that time. That's the time for myself.
Right.
So I'm there, and like I don't think about problems. Like I just think about like,
For sure.
okay, like I'm listening to music, and I'm like jamming out, like and that helps me too, because like I'm not thinking of, oh, what am I gonna do because of this, or what am I gonna do because of that, or like anything like that. Like it's really nice to like have your mind on like just like chill. Like you don't worry about anything, you don't think about anything. And there has been times where I've caught myself like thinking like, oh, this or oh, that, but then I'm like, man, like I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just do what I'm doing now, and I'll worry about that later. Right now, this is what I'm gonna focus on.
You know what, I would say that's a positive coping mechanism, and the reason why I do that too, right? Because even though you may be delaying what you gotta do, or your mind just carrying it out, you just focus on what you gotta do right there at that point in time. Working out though, now let's break that. Let's put back the layers. What does working out do? What does it mean? Like you gotta be committed.
Yeah.
You gotta be disciplined. If you want to get results, you gotta do all those things, right?
Yeah.
You gotta actually put the time, put the effort to do all that. Those are principles that are gonna, even though you're not addressing whatever you gotta do with later on. Working out, you kind of are, because those principles are going to be applied in your problem. You get me?
Yeah.
So whenever you're dealing with it, okay, I'm committed to fix this issue. I got to be disciplined to, I don't know, like whatever your problem may be, right?
Yeah.
You got to have a coping mechanism that's going to help address your issue. You get me? Because that's going to help with whatever the principles of that coping mechanisms are going to translate to real life situations. I mentioned that with working out. I mentioned that with sports itself. I love sports, bro, because of the fact that of what they teach in life, And you gotta, not just that, but like I said this before in an episode before, but I said to my brother too. It was going to college, right? You gotta go to class, because going to class is like going to practice. You don't go to practice, you don't know what you're gonna do in the game. You don't go to class, you don't know what you're gonna be on the exam. And not every game you're gonna do good, right? So when you don't do good in the game, what do? The next day you watch film, see what you did wrong, fix your mistakes, and go back at it. You don't do good on every exam, right? What do? Evaluate how you're studying, go back to the drawing board, study harder, get better notes, and do better the next game around, the next exam around. Principles, things like that, translate to real life. Take it out to the real world now, where we work at. I would say game day for us is fucking every day, because we got metrics every day, right?
Yeah.
Our practice is basically our coaching, because that's when we get with our supervisors and they let us know, what are we doing wrong, what are we doing correctly. And bro, not every month you're gonna perform shit. I probably only performed 3 months the whole time I've been there, bro. This guy performs there all the time, But what I'm saying is though, my effort though is gonna be there. Like I'm not performing dog, but I'm gonna keep trying. I'm going back to the drawing board. And the point is, like, those principles that are there translate everywhere you go in life, bro. So working out is a coping mechanism that's gonna help still address your issue, even though you're not addressing it at that point in time, because the principles that are in that working out. You get me?
Yeah.
So what about you, Gilbert? Anything that you would say?
I would feel, bro, and reading all these bullet points, bro, and all these things that really help you. It's probably adaptability, bro, because honestly, I'm the type of person, and I told George, bro, like, I just feel like I kind of figure it out, or like I'm at peace with myself. But sometimes just like, bro, like, you know what, like I'm so looking at this, like, bro, I already got it all figured out, bro, and it's still like still have these problems, you know what I mean? So like I just need to adapt to, reevaluate myself, like it says here, bro, like become more prone to distractions and fail our coping mechanism. Like I don't really have a coping mechanism, to be honest, man. Like I just go ball once in a while, but it's not always there. But it's not always there though, so I don't really have, I don't know, bro, but I just feel like I do need to adapt more on the situations going on, whatever I have going on in my life, and not always be like, I got it, bro, it's all good, or you know what I mean. So, man, I just feel like adapting and probably self compassion as well, man. So like Adonis says, you can take a little bit out of almost everything on here and really try to work on one thing. Try to work on one thing, bro, because it's hard to work on everything at once. So I always just take one step. I read things like every 1,000-mile journey starts with one step. You know what I mean?
Right.
So just really take it one step, man, and just kind of going that way. And then after that, like, hey, take another step and another bullet point or another goal that you have, because we always trying to like, oh, let me solve this issue right here and then.
Right.
When it's not always the case. You know what I mean? It's a work, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's like working out. Like, you want to lose all this weight. Oh, well, I want to do it 1 month. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not always the reality. It's like, it's going to be a little bit. So, yeah, man, I just feel like a lot, this just a story in itself, man. If you don't really want to click on these links, kind of just read that story, bro, of the iCal. Because, bro, like, it just really, when you're reading it, like Adonis says, man, like, you just picture your kids, man. Like, and and that's what touches more, because, like, you can go fight, you can do all this stuff, and you don't realize what you're doing, or you don't get anywhere. But once it involves your kids, you're like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not fair to them.
Nah, it's not,
fair
man.
to them. They were born into it, you know. So I mean, that's like the biggest thing when it comes to me that I think of like a lot. That I'm telling you, it's one of the things like my sons like helped me learn. It's because of that, because like you don't just like your actions no longer just affect you,
Right.
like they affect your family. Kids, you know, your family, and that's like one of my main reasons for like wanting to like just be better and do better. Because before I had my son, like I really didn't care. I was like, whatever, like if you don't like me, I don't care. You know, like I didn't care. Like whenever before Jalissa, like when it came to like women, I was like really bad. Like I mean, if there was something I didn't like about you, I would drop you real quick. Like I didn't care. Like you know, like I did like arguments. Like what is that? Like I didn't argue. I'd just be like, okay, you don't want to talk to me, like I'm done. Like, it's not like that anymore with Jalissa. Like I can't just be like, oh, like I'm done. Like I don't care. Like I'll just leave. Like it's not like that. Like because now my actions affect also my son. So now even though like sometimes I may feel like that angry or anyway like feel any type of way like that, like I no longer have that. Like I can't say that anymore. Like it's like no, like we're gonna have to try to work it out. We're gonna have to fix this. You know, we're gonna have to talk it out because it affects my son. You know, like and it sucks, man, to say, but like my son's seen me argue with her before. And like
the only one though.
Like bro, you're like, alone, bro.
I've seen the look in his face, and like it breaks my heart. You know,
like I think you said like he covered the guy in the story, covered his ears, like things like that, bro. Like your kid, they don't know exactly what's going on, but they know there's tension in the room. They know that they can feel the energy. You know how they say when the kids in the mom's stomach, and when you talk to them, like they feel all the energy too, like speak to them, like all that, like or like kids, like they may not know exactly what's going on, bro, but they know something's up. You feel me? And like they'll get scared and they'll show you in different ways. Either they'll go to the room or they'll cover their ears, or you can see it though, bro. So that's why it's good to be aware about that. And whenever you're arguing, like to keep that in mind. You know, if it's not an argument that you can handle at that point in time, you know, try to like. I guess I would say just go to a different room, you know, cool down. That way your kids don't gotta hear all that. And even so, I think one of the articles that I read, I don't think it's here, but it said if you're able to get a compromise or resolve your argument at that point in time when it happens, like that's cool too, and it's positive. If you also talk to your child about it and be like, mommy and daddy had a disagreement, but everything's okay now, or hug your partner in front of your child, and they see that because they see that, oh, like
to reassure them.
Like, oh, okay, like they're good, like it's cool, like whatever was happening, they resolved it. Because again, that shows them that, you know, you can have a disagreement and you can at the end still be cool with each other and have that compromise, and you know you're still intact. You know, it's not like destructive where you go different rooms, you know, we're separating and all that shit. Like it's just like things that they don't want to see, things that's gonna bother them, things that's gonna affect them. That, you know, you wanna try to limit that, and you want to try to be I guess a positive responder to it, you know, at the end of the day. So I think myself, that's where I find myself. I mean, in general, just like I said, I'll try to get better, but I find myself working in those aspects, you know, knowing how to respond, not trying to be, you know, witty with my responses, because I tend to do that. You know, if I disagree with something, like I'll say a remark that has maybe some truth to it, and it just, I don't mean to get under your skin, but it gets under your skin, and it just it causes an issue, you know. And I'm working at that, and I think I've gotten better at it. And even that itself, I think from the outsider perspective at times, if it's going to be stigmatized, it can be looked at as like, oh, like you're tolerating it. And it's like, no, I'm not tolerating it. It's just that like I'm learning how to handle the situation, you know, instead of just being like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this, fuck that. Like, you know, because like you said, at the end of the day, like you're doing it to be for your family, to better for your family. And I think for the approach that y'all were mentioning, like you mentioned for yourself, it was the self-compassion, the working out. I mean, I don't know if that's where that's where you say you felt the most, where you need to work at, or where you're focused at working at.
That right now is where I'm working at. I mean, that's like where I'm targeting right now, just to make sure that I'm able to just feel a little bit more relief. Like I feel relief now. Like I feel free. You know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the way I might have like the way I felt in high school. Like I feel like a kid again whenever I'm working out. You know. I don't know. Like it just makes me feel good now. Like the fact that I'm actually getting up and doing something other than just being at home and not doing anything, or like anything like that. And I mean, the time that I do it like late at night.
Right.
So my son's already asleep.
Yeah, you wrap it up.
Alright, so thank you guys for tuning in today, man, to this episode. Basically, again, talking about parental conflicts and how to, I guess, maneuver through them. Again, we're not saying this is the exact way of how to deal with your struggles or your relationship, because again, all of us have our own experiences, and each of us are different. So we gotta know ourselves and know our partner within our relationship to work and get better at that. So that's the whole idea of this topic, man. We were trying to get to. And also because it affects our children, right? Because we want them to have better responses in their own encounters in life, and just for the mental health of all of us, man. And it doesn't just help us, but it helps our partner and our kids out. So that's what I would like for y'all to get from this. If y'all have any questions, any comments, or any ideas or thoughts, you know, shoot us a DM, man. Follow us on our page as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the link right here. For all that, I think Gibbs will put up the links to our social media platforms. We got Instagram, we got Twitter, and we got a Facebook page. Like us and subscribe as well, man. Go check all that out. Any words for you?
We love you guys, man. Hey, tune in. We'll try to bring that content, man, and we'll bring Toby back too as well. We'll try to get 4 guests in, but hey guys,
stick with us.
hey, thank you, Adonis, for coming.
Thank you guys for having me here. I appreciate it.
Hey,
coming in, man.
we out, guys. Peace.